I think this administration is close to 2 years now, and then we have had the national grid collapsed at about 10 or 11 times, like you said, and up until now, there is no solution to this problem.
What is the solution?
I don't know.
And the solution is to fix the grid now.
The solution...
Or you diversify the way we generate power.
The solution, Ajibala, the first solution or the first problem is the equipment are obsolete. They are old. The cables that we've been using since God knows how long. So these things are old. These things need to be changed. And of course, you know how it is. You can't just change them like that. It's systematic.
Yeah.
I don't know how this administration intends to fix the problems, but it's obvious that something needs to be done because it's not heard of. In a year, the grid has collapsed between 10 or 11
alone,
times.
3 times.
So as of last night, I think the power was restored in my area
Likewise.
at 10:39.
Okay.
It was restored for a few hours, then taken again, then earlier this morning.
No, so from between
10:39
until this morning, we had supply. But you know that there's actually the Nigerian National Grid on X. Just in case you didn't know, you can actually follow them on X. And as of this morning, the country was generating 2,671.60 megawatts.
For a population of over 200 million? Okay.
So there's
Even
some
if those
places.
cables...
So there are some places that even have not been restored,
like mine,
on the grid as we speak.
Your own is not...
what do you mean?
I don't know what to call your own. Abimbola, even if those cables are old, we can do the replacement in phases.
We can. And I think this is where the Minister of Power really needs to, really needs to speak. Can you also be systematic as to how Nigeria intends to solve this problem? Because we keep going back and forth over the grid, and it's not becoming like it's acceptable that when the grid collapses, they just tell us the grid has malfunctioned again or has lost energy. And it's okay that, we're doing everything we can to restore power. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
And you know,
that in this age and time, we're still grappling with issues like this.
Like some set of Nigerians actually complained, I really do not know what the Honorable Minister of Power is still doing in that cabinet.
Yeah, the Nigerians
if somebody
didn't vote
is in
him
charge of a particular ministry or sector for over a year and things are not changing, then why are you still keeping the man?
I don't know. All right. I think Nigerians, of course, if you are part of the scorecard, scoring mechanism, this is the time for everybody to start scoring Mr. Adelabu, whether he needs to go or whether he needs to buckle up his belt this time round.
Peculiar mess in the power sector.
Let's take the second story this morning. FG reverses 18-year admission benchmark in tertiary institutions. The new Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, has abolished the 18-year admission benchmark into tertiary institutions in the country. This is as he hinted on the possibility of his administration to review the nation's education policy. However, the minister said there will be no reversal on the federal government's decision to void over 22,700 degree certificates obtained by Nigerians in some fake universities in neighboring Togo and Benin Republic. Alausa spoke yesterday in his inaugural ministerial press briefing in Abuja. And of course, we all were privy to that era where the former Minister for Education had Tahir Mamman admit that policy. And we know that that policy faced a lot of backlash, even though many people also supported the policy. But now the new Minister of Education is saying we need to review the education policy in the country, and perhaps this is one of the policies that may not stand the test of time.
So it's now back to 16. Abimbola, this is what we are saying. Somebody just took over recently, and we are beginning to feel its impact.
Yes.
Meanwhile, somebody had been in charge of a particular ministry for over a year, and things are still the same way.
Again, I will go back to the facts that I think Nigerians also need to start speaking out. If
they said it was our assessment now.
So now, if our assessment was not good enough or was not high enough, so I've pushed him out.
Was it truly our assessment?
Well, this is
At
the
least
time
there was
to
an
give.
Because we saw some semblance of political power play consideration.
But then Hadiza
for some
Bala did say that
ministers.
Nigerians were part of, and they corroborated the fact that it was our doing. So let's do more.
I would love to see that report
Let's speak more.
published.
I commend what the new minister has done. The report I
Honestly.
read yesterday said Nigeria is trying to fight reduce the number of out-of-school children. And if you leave it at 18 years, it will not do good to helping reduce the number of out-of-school children.
For me, I think we also must, move away from the era of doing things because you want to score a point. Let's do things that are peculiar to us as a nation. Let us look at our system. We keep talking about homegrown situation. The fact that UK has a system doesn't mean we have
It's
to
going to
work
work for us.
we are a peculiar people. Let us do what favors us as a people. We have a huge number of young people who are between 16 and 18 seeking admission into tertiary institutions. Would you allow them wait? That gap year, it is not all of them that will also learn a trade. It is not all of them that will learn a skill. Those that can go to school, let them proceed. Then if they now want to go, after those years, and you feel that, okay, at 22, you cannot get past this, let them go and find other means or doing other things that can shore up those years for them. Let's stop doing things because other countries are doing it.
And I hope we're going to enjoy some level of stability in terms of policy in our education, because another minister might come tomorrow and change this
That's
again.
another problem.
Yes.
We keep having flip-flops, policies. It doesn't
Nigeria,
go well. I really don't know. I don't know. But let's see how this will pan out at the end of the day. And perhaps policies will also outlive those who created them. We need to get to that point. And that's where we keep talking about strengthening institutions and not just about the personalities that have made some of those policies. Joy, let's take your story.
When I saw the video yesterday, I was Lagos driver flees after setting LASTMA officer on fire. A commercial driver is on the run after causing bodily injuries to an officer of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority in the Mile 2 area of the state yesterday. According to the LASTMA spokesperson, Adebayo Taufik, he confirmed the incident. According to Taufik, LASTMA operatives had accosted the driver for violating traffic regulations, but he resisted arrest. He noted that in an attempt to evade arrest, the driver sprayed his vehicle, and some of the officers who had taken over the vehicle with petrol set the bus on fire and fled the scene. Taufik narrated the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority had been made aware of a distressing video showing the driver of a Volkswagen T4 commercial bus license plate LSD 355CK setting both his vehicle and LASTMA official ablaze in a brazen attempt to evade arrest. The vehicle was intercepted for violating traffic regulations in Sele, Inward Mile 2 area. In the course of the arrest, the driver and his conductor erupted into a frenzy, resulting to pouring petrol on LASTMA personnel and engaging in hostile confrontations and physical attacks against the officers. Anyway, the injured officer who sustained severe burns was taken to a nearby hospital for medical attention. And he said that the driver and his assistant who perpetrated the assault will be brought to book. I mean, for me, you're trying to arrest and the person is resisting arrest, and then you see him spraying petrol. What are you supposed to do?
I think there was a policy that was introduced by the Lagos State government under the administration of Governor Babatunde Raji Fashola then, where drivers are to go to psychiatric tests before they're allowed to drive in Lagos State. I think we need to bring that back.
Yes, I admit, it's not everyone that is normal on the road.
Exactly. And when you are driving, do not assume that the man in front of you is okay.
No, you are
Just
the
be
only same
conscious.
person.
And what could have triggered the action of that driver is what
I saw the
I'm
video
yet to
yesterday.
realize. And is it frustration?
Is
Is it mentally demented?
frustrated. You see, this thing is two sides to it. There are two sides. Usually there are three sides to a story. My side, your side, and the side of the truth. LASTMA put up that statement from their own side of the story. The driver would have another side of their story, and there will be the side of the truth. And if we'd like to be objective about this, I think it is high time LASTMA officials also do their jobs diligently and stop being lawless
Or civil.
or uncivil when they are dealing with these commercial drivers. See LASTMA officials on the road. we need to call ourselves out and we need to
Yes,
tell ourselves the truth. Now, these are life-threatening situations. Number one, it's going to also put fear in the lives of the LASTMA officials to want to go back on the road because of the fear of being maimed. And we know that oftentimes the state government has also dismissed and punished LASTMA officials that have also, you know, been
Overzealous.
problematic on the road. The drivers, I'm not exonerating them. They are also a menace, but two wrongs can never make it right. Two wrongs can never make it right. It is high time LASTMA headship sits with the headship of, you know, the unions again and read out some of these riot acts to them again. We cannot continue to lose lives. You cannot set yourself on fire and try to make another person catch fire. I saw the video yesterday and was wondering what's going on. If you want to
Has it
die,
gotten to
down
this
your
stage?
own. Don't bring another person to this. So in this matter, another investigation needs to be carried out, and it has to be from an independent body that will not take sides.
Okay.
That way, we will know what exactly happened. And if LASTMA officials were culpable, let them be made to face the music. If the driver was culpable, call the unions and tell them this was what happened. And let us see, because we need the LASTMA officials on the roads. But we also need them to be above
Civil.
board.
But
Yeah,
mine is,
yeah.
if you're trying to arrest and the person is resisting arrest, let him go. You can
Abi,
take you can take a
is
picture
the number
of
plate.
number plate.
And then you deal with that person appropriately. It is high time these officials stop playing law on the road. You take over steering.
I mean, but
Be
you see
dragging the
sometimes,
steering with the
sometimes
driver.
when I see them on the roads, I can hardly differentiate between LASTMA officials and members of NURTW.
It is the
with
color
their
of the
conduct.
uniform that
They'll
you
be
will know.
struggling. The driver will be ruffling their uniform. And
Yeah.
there's a subtle way. Okay, you can correct before arrest.
Yes.
I think this is also the time to remind government. We remember there was a time that we were told that body cams were
Yes.
being used.
So why not
Yeah.
use
And
your
we
body
had
cam?
also
Body cam.
CCTVs in certain places in Lagos. The Ministry of Transportation, this is now the time for you to go back to this era. Allow these officials to wear body cams. When they wear body cam, it is recorded. And then we can have what has happened, and then it can be dealt with.
I
We
don't
need
even-
to call ourselves out and say the truth here.
I don't know which is worse, whether it's LASTMA or VIS.
Jibola,
Then
time is
the kind of
past,
people that
Prince.
they employ there, I think they usually go somewhere to go and recruit them because they all have the same set of behavior.
Where to recruit them?
We need to go. But we do hope that relevant authorities will look into this critically and see how these issues can be nipped in the bud. All right, let's quickly go back to that story where we started from that story. It's trending on the X platform this morning. Of course, Donald Trump has addressed his supporters, and again, he's speaking from all sides of the mouth, and calling out the Democrats and saying all sorts. But here is Donald Trump promising to be the American president with a difference. Let's hope that indeed he'll be able to make a difference in the next 4 years.
And looking at the figures as we speak, it's tilting towards Donald Trump. And the Senate, Abimbola, the Republican, they have taken over the Senate.
Yes, the Republicans have taken over the Senate, and the Democrats are still taking charge at
Of the
House
House.
of Reps. And remember what Lukman said yesterday. Donald Trump has not picked up 270 electoral votes.
Not yet.
Not yet. And so if at the end of the day he doesn't get 270 electoral votes, there could still be a swing. From
So a Republican will be the president,
and the
Democrat will be the
vice
vice president.
It's
American
not
election is
impossible.
funny.
It is not impossible. But let's see how this will end up
how
at
this
the
will
end
end
of
out,
the
yeah.
day. But we do know that the U.S. election is still trending on the X platform, and it is still eliciting so much generation and generating so much reactions from a lot of people.
What will be going on in the minds of Nigerians and Africans generally? Mexicans.
Well, and I think a lot of supporters of the Democrat were also greatly disappointed because Kamala didn't step up to address them late last night. But of course, if you were in her shoes, what would you do? It was something that, all predictions were saying it
your
will be
favor.
blue. It will be blue. And at the end of the day,
was
the red
red
is
all over.
dominating. So I think they're also just taking in the shock, trying to swallow it in. And I guess she would address her supporters when she's calm and when she has something
to see.
But sincerely, I would have loved to see a female American president, at least for the first time. But
Someday.
unfortunately,
It is not
Someday
yet
it
lost.
will
Hope is
happen.
not yet lost. Another 4 years.
Adebola, the last time I checked, 246 for Trump,
No, I'm not
210
saying.
for.
I'm not saying now. In
Okay.
another 4
Someday.
years.
Okay.
Someday.
Yeah.
Someday soon. We need to take a break. When we return, the conversation continues, and it might be on this divide, it might be on that side, but the conversation continues shortly after the break.